All right, so another team meeting, team. Um, New this week for the executive committee is getting the conditions policy. This is a new document, just like the marketing document of permanent part of the corporation. The conditions policy is another one we can manage forever. So, that involves terminology of clients and some other projects or applications, and is just a written paper that shares how our organization fits with everybody, including privacy, and the policy that's sustainable for this. The start of the commission is also new. So 22 jobs here at ECOmedia is a lot, and more than I want to do alone. One of the groups of meetings that I don't plan to attend is the commission, and that's about getting eCoin, the currency, growing. We have a notion of this intelligent way to share goods, and as we trade, the currency becomes evident. So the commission is all about using money sustainably. I really want to talk about design as director of design. So, I'm kind of making the personal profile a base of the name, poll, and medical record. With three things, it's like a braid, keeping them balanced. We can see that the name is where the private organization is within a person's profile. And the poll is what's public. The medical record, herein lies what is pertinent to being healthy, also determined privately. But there's something much more beautiful to this notion of privacy, and it's a complex structure that I call the common 8 braid. Basically, it would be like 3 and 3 and 3, all braided together. So strands of braids, all 3 braids then braided once more. the 3 strands that I consider, or another part to notice about the structure is that it's not just 3 and 3 and 3 making a 9 braid. There's a common strand among the braids. Among 2 of the braids share a strand. And so I have 8 things that I think are these strands, and some of them are like invisible, so we can make this complex structure a reality even if the positions of ropes wouldn't quite allow for the common 8 braid. But I've started making the braid, and as you can see, there's one that is already, or that braids autonomously, and then all 3 of the common 8 braid come together. There seems to be a process of feeding 2 wires at a time for this common 8 braid. There is a notable twist that is involved of some of the braids, so that the common wire, or the common strand, is capable of managing a 3x3 braid. This common strand provides a backfill to make sure that the braid is proceeding accurately. There's also, I haven't gotten very far. There's a chance that this structure ends up in a knot, but I think that it works. It seems like I'm making a 4-dimensional fractal that, like, in these wires could exist with the flow. But the crazy part is the complexity. Quite beautiful, with such unique characteristics as needing to pull 3 strands, or strands along with the unison strand, through another braid straight without braiding, so that the other braid is maintained. And perhaps there's an algorithm for the speed of making this common 8 braid. But noting how the strands may be waves, this is so beautiful as privacy. Um, the uh, the strands that we're using are projects. The like selection of projects and what's in them. That's one of the personal resources. The name where privacy is maintained. The medical record. The poll. The conditions policy. The messages. The phone. And drugs. So, those are 8 parts of a person with a profile's life. And certainly the poll grows. That's why we called it a poll, so it could get taller easily. The growing strand in the combinate braid with mimicry of the other braided strands might show time itself gets faster, but the amount of second guessing and double checking leaves telling indiscernible. The part that's important is how we've devoted this this structure to guard privacy. And so it's hard to make out of wires because a pole is growing in ECOmedia. Messages continue as well. So the whole thing getting bigger, potentially with flow, is a great complex. Messages form the pole around it. That public profile is formed by surrounded messages, by messages surrounding. So the having the privacy policy, we can pretty much get to designing the phone. The phone or the moving window is first and foremost for calls. It's flex fitting, undergoing great movement, and can sustain functionality through change, like a fold, like the phone folding for fitting in a pocket, so it's flex fitting. The phone does data processing. It has all the tools. We got 12 tools here in ECOmedia. And it has, and the last thing for us to focus on in designing the phone is advantages over the cloak. So the moving window is great for calls, and we have some things to prioritize while designing it. In the hair twirls, that's hair twirls meetings, which is me, director of design, the director of finance, inventor, dreamer, designer, engineer, and secretary. We're coming up with a great theory of how the market operates, not just how ECOmedia operates. One tool of the cloak is the market, and what we're designing is, or what we were focused on is how this digital tool equates to the storefronts of the stock market. And the director of finance is important here, and the inventor from the marketing committee is helpful as well. It's pretty much the design committee plus those two people. The engineering group is new. It involves the designer, engineer, photographer, and computer, and helps with programming ECOmedia. So it's got somebody from the executive and somebody from the marketing committee, and the designer and the engineer. And to continue talking about groups that meet, the commission is made up of just 3 executive positions and 3 finance positions. The commissioner, director of finance, and accountant, and lawyer, and coordinator, and the scribe. And is tasked with getting the monetary system sustainable. Getting the sustainable monetary system operating, or sustaining the value of one eCoin. And so I want to talk about what we're using as an example of money. Basically the song value. Song necessarily involves time. Time is a dimension just like utility. So, um, so we integrate song value and have the comparison to what we want. So there's stuff for us to acquire. Um, the the salary is a part of comparison. There's more than what we get paid um, for people far away to be able to listen to a song, an infinite song. So we have not only our salary, but the items around us that we call valuable. And what we need to do accurately, philosophically, is determine what stuff is worth. And the whole market as it comes together kind of shows by pricing what we can maintain in transactions in the economy. So there are more than there's capital assets that are like workers, and what finance needs to do, and marketing, is figure out how items such as cups or pencils, mechanical pencils, compare to machinery at a corporation, or machinery that is personally owned. And be able to use the unit of money, ECoin, to communicate those comparisons. The ECoin is securing forecasts. So where scientists were forecasting rates of ocean acidification, they need to forecast rates of cleaning and other stuff so that people can organize progressively. The eCoin we're coming up with is simply the best currency, and sharing the money will make us feel good. Marketing has to outreach to groups like Fridays for Future. Fridays for Future can make the calendar that we're programming much more widespread, much quicker. There's students that are only going to class 4 days a week, which agrees with the 8-day-a-week calendar that has 4-day weekends. And I guess the NBA, I mean, athletes all around can help show people what's healthy to do in free time other than or apart from driving internal combustion engine vehicles. Plus, the NBA can really stand for what summer is. They have a 7-month season, and the off season is a 5-month summer. I know from my own personal research that the academic calendar can operate with 2 semesters fitting within 7 months. And these 7 months are the work season. The help for securing summer vacation may come from the Service Employees International Union, where the largest amount of people have formed a union to uphold their rights. And rights are something we can promise. But, I mean, it's quite a wonderful time to be able to do so. But what the Service Employees International Union can do is form like a summertime corporation that can do everybody's jobs during the summer. And this is doable because many jobs in the post-industrial economy are just services, or most jobs are services. So there's a lot of important people for marketing to reach out to, and then the coordinator on the executive committee can maintain relationships with those affiliates. I guess marketing is putting together a document for demonstrating we launched the corporation that ECOmedia is here to help. And it's a document just like the design program that I'm working on, and just like the conditions policy of the executive committee. So a lot of various efforts within this organization are at a river of great flow. I'll just say like Niagara Falls. And there's a lot thus moving forward. So I wish everybody a wonderful new year. Peace.